Your life is within your own control. You fight, you battle, you ponder, attempting to take control of your direction, of your destiny. But curiously, the same patterns keep emerging. You tend to fall for the same type of person. You fall at strangely similar crossroads. Just when it seems that things are going to improve, they all come crashing down. Have you ever said to yourself, why do I always land up in the same place despite my efforts? As if life is a dream that is being replayed and you are the dreaming subject. There is a force one might describe as a premonition, silent but constant, that steers you into certain relationships, leads you into certain traps, and pushes you into choices that feel pre-written. I call it serendipity. Or maybe it's just the truth you don't have to and haven't seen. We are about to embark on a new and rarely opened doorway, straight into ancient knowledge. Behind it stretches Hermetic teachings, the images of alchemical language, the eternal laws of the universe. These aren't myths or old schools of thought. They are the unseen infrastructure that has been gently nudging you all along. Or perhaps it was all random. Perhaps the universe isn't punishing you. Perhaps it's telling you to get a sense of pattern recognition. The universe is not random. The stargazers and soul listeners knew long ago. It communicates in myth, symbol, and ritual, not to mystify us, but to wake us up. That's not religion. It's a language that shatters delusions and reconstructs the world. Hermeticism. Discover the true meaning of alchemy, Hermetic laws, Stoic insight, and the mystical foundations of psychology by traveling back to the primordial wellspring of wisdom with this movie. You'll start to comprehend the reason why laws from antiquity still apply in the present, how your emotions, choices, and even your life script are influenced by the rhythms of the universe. Above all, learn how to use these unseen forces to overcome hardship and take part in shaping your own destiny. Are you prepared? Let's reorient your life's compass and open the door to truth. Hermes, this deity, who crosses several mythologies, is hailed as the messenger of the gods. In ancient Egypt, he was Thoth, the god of wisdom and magic. In Greece, he is Hermes, wing-sandaled and quick. And alchemists, he became Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great, sage of sky and earth knowledge. In his enigmatic work, The Emerald Tablet, he left a line that would reverberate through the ages, as above, so below, as within, so without. Indeed. Not poetry, but a cosmic principle, short words, but thunderously pregnant with meaning. What it does is disclose a fundamental reality, that the world you experience is a reflection of your inner world. To put it another way, in order to change your world, you must first change your consciousness, your thinking, your feeling, your beliefs. If not, the same problems will reappear in different costumes. Alchemy, not turning metal into gold, but turning the soul into light, though to many, it remains an old-timey ruse, led into actual gold. But real alchemy has nothing to do with minerals. It's about the spirit. Each sleepless night, each emotional breakdown, each awkward interaction with a friend. These are not happenstance life events. They are invitations to do alchemical work within, albeit silently. Will you go into the chaos and extract something more aware from it? Anger is a sword that causes you to stake out territory. Sadness could be an opening into a deeper connection with the self. If you feel fear, you are likely close to a breakthrough. Alchemy is the practice of transforming the lead of emotion into gold of consciousness. This is what as within, so without really means. The universe and your mind are, each, the other's infinite mirror. Your heart is as confused as the world, and you and the cosmos, you are never divided. The planets dance in rhythm with your feelings, Seasons change mimics the waxing and waning of your own life. Even physical disease can manifest as a symptom of psychic conflict. Thus, the concept of soul alchemy was birthed. Moving from chaos, wounds, and unconscious patterns, the lead, to awareness, wholeness, and self-mastery, the gold. Converting external challenges to internal awakenings. The alchemists who were pursuing the philosopher's stone were not out to pursue wealth. They were in search of a spiritual cleansing and lifting. Medieval European manuscripts are rich with symbolic soul maps. The raven as the shadow self, the Ouroboros as eternity, and gold, not in the figurative sense, but as the transformed state of the soul which has endured the fire within. These have been taught in the East for centuries. We find the same core wisdom in Taoist inner alchemy, to refine essence into qi, qi to spirit. Both East and West cloaked the keys of transformation in metaphor and mystery. Alchemy, a pre-modern branch of psychology, is the symbolic language of the unconscious, according to psychologist Carl Jung. These historic symbols have endured. They continue to exist in your relationships, dreams, and emotional triggers. They reside within your dreams, your relationships, your buttons, patterns that are known but unexplainable in your daily life. Alchemy is no longer stuck in dusty labs and mysterious symbols. It has become an intensely private, psychological one. When you keep attracting the same emotional pain, it's not fate, it's frequency. You are unconsciously attuned to a script you have not rewritten. Given that anxiety is running the show, what you need isn't to be more controlled from the outside, but to rework your insides, to adjust your awareness. Hermetic laws are not dusty myths. They are the low-profile mechanics of your inner world. They never left. They are waiting for you to remember the language they speak. According to Hermetic laws, there are 3 operating principles of the universe within Hermeticism. They are invisible and undetectable, yet they follow us like shadows, quieting and shaping every choice, every experience we encounter. 1. The principle of mind. All begins with consciousness. The universe is your projection. The universe is a flow of consciousness. All is mind. This can sound to some like mysticism, but if you stop and think, it will lead you to a deep truth. The reality you see is not objective. It is a projection of your mind. Have you also felt how when you are sad, the air itself is gray? And when you're in love, every leaf dances? That's not just your imagination. It's the principle of mind at work. Modern psychology confirms this. Our brains work by selective attention. If you have a subconscious belief, I'm not worthy of love, your mind will bend reality to verify that belief. You will forever see rejection, neglect, and even subconsciously attract things or people that will make it true. Reality does not do the writing for you in your destiny, but the actual script is recorded by the frequency of your inner beliefs. As Hermes said, the universe is mental. In Buddhism, they say, all things arise from the mind. The message is unambiguous. In order to change your destiny, you have to change your thinking. In the words of Zhang Defen, "Dear, there is no one else out there, only you. All outside experiences are projections from within you, and that means no fear, no anxiety, because if you can notice and change your inner state, the universe will respond in kind. When something goes wrong, instead of complaining, ask, what belief that I have within me is creating this reality? Shift your focus away from the problem and towards the mind. This is the first step in the alchemy of mind. Stop focusing on the problem and instead ask, who is creating it? Replace complaint with awareness and let consciousness be the editor of your destiny. 2. The law of vibration. The frequency you emit determines the reality you attract. Hermes taught, everything vibrates. Nothing is at rest. All of the thoughts, feelings, and desires within you are energy, vibration. And the frequency that you are living in has to do with what type of people, events, and experiences you resonate with. In simple terms, your inner field is the magnet that attracts your outer world. If you are frequently anxious, you attract chaos and instability. If you constantly doubt yourself, you're going to find yourself in uncertain relationships. But if you're grounded and believe you are worthy of abundance, that's when you'll start to meet people and opportunities that reflect exactly that. You might think this is coincidence, but actually, there is a hidden mechanism where psychology and energy enter into each other. Emotions are waves of energy. Nervous water breeds chaos. Harmony draws calm waves. That's why regulating your emotional state isn't just about feeling better, it's how you start to rewrite your whole reality blueprint. When you are stressed or anxious, don't act immediately. Breathe first. Engage in meditation. Allow your emotional frequency to drop back to zero. The outside world can only begin to change when you alter your inner frequency. You attract who you are. Your frequency is the reality you experience. 3. The law of polarity. Darkness and light are merely two ends of the same spectrum. All things in the universe are a duality of opposites: hot and cold, love and hate, hope and despair. For this reason, they appear to be antithetical, when in reality they are but two extrema of one scale. You can slide along that continuum of light and dark any time you decide you want to change your inner polarity. Most people want to flee from the negative and run towards the positive. But true mental alchemy has never been about repressing the dark. It's about looking at it, feeling it, what it represents, and using it as a tool for growth. In psychology, there's a concept called shadow integration. The more you avoid certain emotions, the more they repeat themselves in your experience. For instance, loss or rejection, in my case. Until one day you are brave enough to confront them and comprehend and accept their presence. The law of polarity teaches us any bad state has the possibility of a transition. As an example, I've been rejected can become, I'm learning to set better boundaries. I feel jealous, for example, can become, I'm being reminded of unmet desires I need to honor. This is the actual sorcery of transmutation. When in a low point in life, instead of resisting, change the polarity. Turn fear into courage to act. Steer aversion toward boundary awareness. Change the meaning of an experience and you transform its significance in your life. As the ancient Chinese poem has it, when you reach the end of the river, sit still and watch the clouds rise. To put it another way, what appears to you a dead end is sometimes a door to change, and in every night sky, dawn is breaking. Final reflection. Do you still think you have free will over your life? Or could it be that each word and action of yours has been conducted, unexpressed, by such laws? Understanding them isn't about control. It is about awakening to real freedom. To be the dreamer and director of your story in the larger scheme of destiny's rules. Have you ever had the impression that some events were long predestined, even though they appeared to be random? An unexpected setback, a silent farewell, or a snap decision that you later realize marked a turning point in your life. What seems like coincidence is often the unfolding of some cosmic rhythm. All of it follows an ancient and profound principle, the principle of rhythm from Hermetic philosophy. The pendulum of fate favors no one. A universal truth is revealed by this principle. Everything flows in and out. Everything has its tides, its rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. From the daily cycle of day and night to seasonal cycles, to the ebb and flow of emotions,
relationships, and careers. Everything in this universe has rhythm. The sun rises, then sets. Every high has its low. Emotions, energy, destiny. All of it waves, surging and receding, no exceptions. If you are very happy, the pendulum might be swung most to the right. And when sorrow comes, it's just swinging to the left. There is no permanent state. An endless cycle is what everything is part of. Become the tuner of your own rhythm. The essence of this law is not to passively swing on the swing, but master the rhythm and be the conductor of it. As the Hermetic Master once said, the wise polarize themselves at the point where they desire to rest, and then neutralize the rhythmic swing. This is the heart of mental alchemy, not the suppression of emotion, but the art of consciously guiding and balancing it, steady in the midst of chaos and clear in the midst of fluctuation. We can't stop the pendulum, but we can choose how it affects us. So stop being afraid of the lows. They are pauses gifted by the universe for you to reflect. Don't hold on too much to the highs. They are but moments in the greater pulse. But most importantly, can you find your center with each swing of the pendulum?
Rhythm, the ancient wisdom rooted in culture among the Chinese. The number 5 represents the core of life cycles and rhythms. The 5 elements, 5 tones, 5 organs, and the 5 flavors, each vibrating in cyclical harmony. Life has an inner rhythm, like a melody in music. The nations that rise and fall, the civilizations that bloom and fade, the shaping and dying of every single human life. These aren't signs of disorder, but the universe breathing in majestic rhythm. Sun and moon, spring and autumn, life and death, joy and sorrow. None of them are random. They are steps in a cosmic dance. And when you get this rhythm, you will start to understand. A low point is not a collapse, but a turning of the beat. Coming apart does not lead to an end, but a beginning. So stop fearing the lows. It is the universe giving you a pause for introspection. And don't grasp too hard at the highs. They are but moments in the longer pulse. The question is, can you find your center when the pendulum swings? Everything goes in and out. Everything rises and falls. The swing of the pendulum is reflected in everything. The swing to the right is the swing to the left. The rhythms cancel each other out. Balin. Learn to dance with fate instead of letting it throw you around. You acquire a deep sense of freedom, a silent, unflinching inner strength when you become proficient in rhythm. In this ever-changing world, there is one timeless principle quietly operating in every corner of our lives, the law of cause and effect. It is neither a synonym for fatalism nor some ethereal, mystical concept. Instead, it is an actual, fundamental mechanism that is interwoven with the universe itself. We often announce that opportunity has arrived, but seem less concerned to ask why. What we call opportunity is never incidental. It is the not quite accidental convergence of countless things. Everything happens for a reason, and the reason will eventually develop results. The reverse is also true. All results are closely related to their initial causes. Life may seem chaotic, but there is an unseen order to it. The people we happen to meet, and the things that suddenly happen, are not random. They are the outward manifestations of hidden motives and causes. We have not yet found the threads that connect it all, and so coincidence has never quite existed. Have you ever noticed patterns in your life or had the impression that you knew someone immediately? Or did an idea suddenly occur to you and then have an unanticipated impact on your reality? That lacks creativity. It's not a stroke of luck. That is the application of the law of cause and effect. Every thought, every word, and every seemingly insignificant action has an impact on this universe. Even a momentary thought can be an event in the future. Energy never disappears, it just shifts, bounces back, and moves in cycles like a boomerang. The law appears most insidiously inside each of us.
All of the thoughts, choices, emotions, and actions you have made, consciously or unconsciously, have brought you to where you are now, the people you encounter, and the journey you are on. According to the diamond cutter, each of your deeds and thoughts is a seed planted in the field of your mind. Those seeds grow where they don't simply disappear. Some will grow to be bitter fruit, others pretty flowers. But you planted every single one of them. Your now is the answer to your past. What you now say and do will impact your future. This techno-epiphany is momentous. It reminds us that we are not victims of fate, nor really bystanders in our own lives. The true turning point doesn't come from better timing or a changed environment. It is the moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life. Stop waiting to be saved. Stop waiting for the other to change. The real transformation begins within. Once the law of cause and effect is truly understood, so much frustration and confusion in life begins to evaporate. You will learn to blame less and understand more in relationships. You will take more responsibility in love, family, friendship, and less reactive battles. You will begin to feel you get what you give. If you want to change the effect, you must go back and know the cause. To know cause and effect is to have the wisdom of foresight. But before you act, you ask, what comes of this? You'll start to see beyond short-term gains and cultivate long-term consciousness. The tone of a sentence, the softening of a reaction, and the bravery to maintain a small habit are all things you will begin to practice. Eventually, you will transition from being a pawn of fate to taking charge of your own life. Life is now something you create, how you want it to be, rather than something that just happens to you.
May you realize that destiny is not a gamble from now on. You and the seeds you plant are partners in this partnership. Your future is being actively written by each of your now selves. Cause and effect are always present. The question is, are you ready to see it at last? Have you experienced how much things go awry during a time you are a mess internally? You schlep around trying to clarify your intentions, but no one will get it. When you try to get closer, someone pulls away. It takes a few words to destroy a relationship you have worked so hard to build. These things may seem like random occurrences to you, but what if they are mini mirror images of your inner state? This is an ancient and profoundly practical principle, the law of correspondence. You might have heard it expressed as above, so below, as within, so without. Although it sounds philosophical, it captures something very relatable and real. Your inner landscape is projected into the world you see. The world feels small and dangerous when you're anxious. When you are relaxed and centered, life flows more easily. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions project your inner movie onto the people and events in your environment. For example, the boss you hate may be your transference, personifying old rage you have with authority. The other half you crave may be qualities you have yet to cultivate within yourself. Even betrayal, rejection, being taken advantage of, even painful experiences might not be punishments, but messages pointing towards inner work left undone. You may be being pushed to learn self-loyalty by betrayal. Rejection could be inviting you to reconnect with the lonely child within. You may need to establish more firm boundaries if you feel used. That does not mean that it is your fault for everything. Instead, it is a call to transition your attention from external mayhem to internal order. You can't control how other people behave, but you can control how consciously you react. As an old saying goes, out of the one comes the two. Not to divide, but to reflect. The inner and the outer, the higher and the lower, they're always in communication. Your inner world is yang, the source and creator. Outer is yin, the response and reflection. Because real change always begins within. There's a saying in psychology, the way you see the world is a reflection of your internal state. If you think the world is a dangerous place, you will be living on the edge. If you are not good enough, you will unconsciously pull to your life people and circumstances that will guarantee that. But once you start organizing your inner world, processing those old wounds, releasing resentment, understanding your shame and fear, your outer world begins to shift too. Einstein once said, We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we created them. Sometimes we get stuck, not because we aren't trying hard enough, but because we are using outdated ways of thinking. Try asking yourself, if I was the evolved, wise, future version of myself, how would I view this situation? You may be surprised at what changes. The partner you want may be what you need to become. And even painful experiences like betrayal, rejection, or exploitation may not be punishments, but messages nudging you to unfinished inner work. Or, perhaps betrayal is teaching you loyalty to yourself. Rejection may be a call to reconnect with the lonely child within. If you feel used, perhaps you are being called to better boundaries. This is not to say it is all your fault. Instead, it's a chance to shift your focus from outer incoherence to inner coherence. You can't control how they act, but you can control at what level you react. As the saying goes, the one has two coming from it. Not to divide, but to reflect. The inner and the outer, the higher and the lower, they're always in dialogue. You are the yang, the source and the creator. The inner world is yin, the response and the reflection. Real change comes from within. There is a saying in psychology, how you see the world is how you are inside. If you think of the world as dangerous, you will feel that the world is a dangerous place. When you don't feel worthy, you will attract unconsciously people and situations that will confirm that vision. When you start organizing the inside, working through the past pain, forgiving anger, understanding your shame and fear, the outside world begins to take shape. As Einstein said, the same thinking that created the problem won't solve it. Perhaps we are stuck, not that we don't try hard enough, but because we are using old thinking processes. Think about asking yourself, how would I see this situation if I were the evolved, older, and wiser me looking back? You might want to speculate as to what will change. This rhythm is what the law of gender of Hermetic wisdom states, but this is not about biological sex or gender identity. It has to do with something more universal, the idea that there are masculine, yang, and feminine, yin energies in everything. These two forces have nothing to do with roles, but everything to do with the propagation of energy in the universe. Yang energy is external, active, intellectual, and goal-oriented. Yin energy is introverted, passive, instinctual, and nurturing. They're not antithetical, they're complementary. Like inhale and exhale, day and night, ebb and flow, they are cyclical, helping and balancing each other out. And whether we know it or not, we all employ these energies every day. To put this in a dialogue context, speaking and asserting oneself is yang, listening deeply is yin. To a creator, the explosion of a new idea is yang energy. The time spent in silence gestating, letting it reflect and ripen, is yin. That's the problem. Our world is too yang. We are raised to be productive and efficient and always in control, even from a young age. But little do we learn about the strength of the yin side, of taking time to feel into things, of pressing pause, or of just allowing the mess to be a mess for a bit. Have you ever experienced anything like that? You make every possible effort, and things feel stagnant. Your feelings are contained and then erupt. You invest in the relationship, but feel depleted or not valued. And if it is, maybe you're not doing anything wrong. Maybe the issue is that your energy is out of balance. Perhaps you've overdone control and progress, yang, and have lost touch with softness, trust, and surrender, yin. Hermes instructed, the masculine contains the feminine, and the feminine contains the masculine. Real creation does not work toward one side of the dichotomy, but rather toward respecting the love dance that exists between the two. You need to have goals and also space for not knowing. Be logical, but don't disregard gut feelings or waves of emotion. You can do and be, but allow time for being, integrating and resting. When things feel stuck, sometimes that is not a push to try harder, but a nudge from the universe to loosen up a bit, to return to the wisdom of yin. Because surrender isn't weak, it can be a much stronger thing. Starting today, try tuning into your inner rhythm with questions like, should I be pushing, or should I take a step back? Am I too yang? Have I overlooked the softer voice of yin? Can I give myself permission, not to have to repair everything in order to be able to feel and listen and trust. This isn't about getting soft. It is about remembering that power is not only brute force, it can be food and strength. The more you learn to work with the decisiveness of yang and the depth of yin, the more ease, richness, and alignment you will create in your life. Thank you. Amin Lan. The first step toward awakening is realizing the truth. Real change starts with living the truth. It's like turning on a light when you understand the Seven Hermetic Principles. However, when you go ahead and put them into practice, they become more than just information. They become a route to both internal and external transformation. Each of the 7 principles can be used in the real world in the ways listed below. These are not merely concepts. They are acts that will assist you in going from knowing to doing, transforming your life into a mild yet potent kind of alchemy. The first is the mentalism principle. Everything starts in the mind. Key concept. Reality is shaped by consciousness. Daily routine. The notice, shift, create approach. 1. Take note. Spend a minute every morning observing the first idea that occurs to you. Is it, what might today bring, or, another busy day? 2. Shift. Reroute that negative narrative to something intentional like, I choose to greet today with clarity. 3. Create. Write a feeling or state you wish to embody today, e.g., calm, confidence, joy, and practice fostering that feeling throughout your day. Watch out for. This is not about positive thinking solves all, but about management of your thoughts. Real mental alchemy is not denying negativity. It is processing, integrating, and transmuting it. The second is the principle of vibration. Your frequency attracts your reality. Key concept. You attract what you resonate with. Daily practice. Emotional frequency toolbox. Put together a kit that can help change your state to include listening to a grounding song, chatting for 5 minutes with an attentive friend, taking 10 deep breaths with closed eyes, imagining a resetting frequency. Daily ask yourself, is my energy attracting what I want or what I don't want? Watch out for. Frequency isn't fake smiles or forced optimism. It's about where your emotional energy resides on a regular basis. To change whom you are attracted to, first change your habitual emotional state. The third is the principle of polarity. Everything has 2 sides. Key idea, integrate opposites. Daily practice. Breathing through the opposite. When caught in the state, for example, rage or despair. 1. Name your feeling and take a breath. 2. Ask yourself, what is the opposite of this? For example, rage equals understanding. Fear equals trust. 3. Think of these 2 poles as wings. You are the one in between them, not at one end or the other. Watch out for. Don't be quick to erase the negative. Instead, speak with it and take your power back from it. The fourth is the principle of rhythm. Everything flows in cycles. The rhythm principle. Everything happens in cycles. The main idea is that life happens in waves. Daily routine, rhythm awareness journal. What time of day did you feel the most energized? When did you feel exhausted? What repeated emotions? Do you see a pattern? When are you most creative? When do you need stillness? Remember, rhythm is not an excuse for moodiness. It is the ability to move with the universe's beat. Life is not a permanent high. It is a graceful wave of up and down. The fifth is the cause and effect principle. There are no real accidents. Key idea. Own your creation. Practical tool. Cause tracing journal. Choose a problem and investigate these 3 questions. 1. What actions or inactions on my part contributed to this persisting? 2. What unconscious belief or desire might this have been attracted by? 3. What new cause can I plant to produce a different result? Watch out for. Responsibility does not equal self-blame. Awakening to cause and effect isn't about guilt. It's about owning the present and shaping the future. The 6th is the principle of correspondence. Your world mirrors you. Big idea. Relationships are mirrors. Awareness exercise. The mirror work. Note, pick one person that you have feelings for. Ask, what is the trait in them that bothers me most? Is this a disowned part of myself? Write what you would tell them. Then ask, do I need to say this to myself too? Watch out for. Not every relationship is a lesson, but if you are willing, they can show you the parts of yourself that you have not fully met yet. The 7th is the principle of gender. Creation arises from the union of yin and yang. Key idea. Balance masculine and feminine energies. Energy check-in. Today's yin-yang self-scan. Did I dominate or bully today? Yang excess. Did I disregard my feelings or needs? Deficient yin. Did I give too much? What was the amount I received? Was there balance? Mini rituals to rebalance. Write your journal using your non-dominant yin hand to dig deeper into feelings. Plan 1 hour a week of doing nothing, free space for silence and softness. Visualize the sun to your right and the moon to your left while meditating, inhaling both energies together. Watch out for. Yin is not weakness, but yang is not always strength. Real art exists in the space between the two. Alchemy is not escaping reality, but transforming it. Ancient wisdom isn't an evasion of actual life. Its real power is that it helps us to remain clear in chaos and make conscious choices within it. You are not a victim of fate. You are a co-creator of fate. You don't have to overhaul it all in one go. Begin with one awareness, one mindset shift, one energetic reset a day. These 7 laws are 7 keys, and each one unlocks a portion of your own inner power that it is time for you to remember. Maybe you've thought of destiny as a long and lonesome road that needs to be walked to be realized, step by excruciating step. But one day, you start to understand that your destiny is not something you pursue. Rather, it is the scenery that is pulled to you by the vibration of your soul. The struggles you are dealing with in this moment, those stuck emotional patterns, challenging relationships, and internal conflicts are not happening by accident. They are the universe's soft and subtle, but urgent and strong reminder. Okay, now it's time to remember your real power. Hermes' 7 principles are not some far-off, mystical incantations reverberating in a distant temple. They're never far from you. They exist silently in your feelings, your everyday choices, and your relationships. Like an old friend who salutes you and has been waiting for you to turn and listen. Perhaps you have decades of questioning, of reaching out, of looking for the truth, for answers. But now, something inside you begins to realize, you aren't here to ascertain the truth. You are here to become. Because truth does not change. All it does is wait for you to be the one who will finally be able to listen. When you cease the reaction, complaining, fighting against, and start to question, why is this happening to me? From that moment, your destiny shifts. You are no longer simply a player in the screenplay. At that point, you are collaborating with the universe and your soul as the co-writer of your life. This is the essence of true alchemy. It's not magic. Trust me, this is not superstition. It is transforming confusion into understanding, fear into power. It's about manifesting the blueprint of your soul in this dimension, in actuality. When you start to understand and apply these laws, you cease being a victim of destiny. You become the player, the tactician of your own reality. And perhaps, just perhaps, you've already felt an echo of that. That uncomfortable feeling is like something you've left behind that is just starting to come back to memory. No, that's not your imagination. That is your soul's remembrance. These mystical laws are actually the original operating system for your soul. It is not far away. They're not obscure. They're just waiting for you to wake up. And so, from this moment on, keep in mind, you are not the victim of your life. You are the alchemy of your own to be. Every thought you think, any wisdom you invoke, any decision you take, and they are subtly directing what path you are on in your life. If these words have awakened something in you, there's a reason for that, because your spirit is ready. Final words to remember. The truth is constant. It is just waiting for you to be the one who can finally hear it. You're not here to discover the truth. You are here for becoming it.